friends, welcome to part 2 of the checkerboard. I am excited about getting our checkerboard assembled and creating our checker pieces, and then our game will actually be ready to play. And then next week we'll come together and create a little carrying case to keep our checkerboard and our checker pieces in. So if you're ready to get that game together and ready for some fun, then I'll meet you over at the craft table. To get started, you will need your strips, your scissors, your yarn needle, and again, a little bit of lotion just to moisten up our most precious part of our tools, and that is our hands. Want to keep them nice and moisturized, keep them from getting dry. I have gone ahead and worked up a piece to kind of show you what our checkerboard will look like when we start sewing our strips together. And I just left one of the stitch markers in so we know which is our front side and which is our back side. But either way, you know, your stitching is a little bit different on the back side, just a little bit, but either way, your game could be reversible. Now, if you want, and I'm thinking about doing this when I can get out to the store and our COVID-19 stay-at-home order has been lifted, and getting a piece of cloth material and actually sewing it on the back side of this. But we'll see. So again, this is kind of what our game board is going to start looking like when we start sewing our pieces together. So grab 2 strips. You want to make sure that you have your front side showing. And then you want to make sure your colors are opposite of one another. So you've got red, black, or whatever your 2 colors are, that they're opposite of one another. Take your front pieces and lay them on top of one another. And then either one of your ends, whichever one you're going to use to sew together. I'm going to go ahead and use my black. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on my yarn needle. Okay. And I am just going to go into each corner of both pieces and pull that through and just create a little knot there. And then I'm going to go through the back loop of the red, pull it through, and then I'm going to come find this back or front loop on the outside of my black and pull it through. And I'm just going to do that going all the way down my work. And just whip stitch. And just continue doing that all the way down. And when you get to the end, I will meet up with you and I'll show you what to do next. When you have your piece all whip stitched together, on the very end piece, you just want to create a little knot. And then you can cut some of that extra off and then just weave in your end. But here is your pieces together. So it looks really nice. And then that's the back side. So go ahead and weave this in and continue whip stitching them all together until you have one solid checkerboard. And then we'll come back and we'll put a border on. Now that you have your checkerboard all together in one piece, we're going to put a border on. So select one of your two colors. I'm going to use black as the first color around my border, and then I'm going to use red as the second. You can decide between your two colors which one you want to do for each round. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come and insert our hook right into this corner stitch. And we're going to attach our yarn in the fashion of a slip stitch. And I'm grabbing both my tail piece and my working yarn. And I'm just going to fasten that on like that. And then I'm going to chain one. And I'm going to single crochet 3 times into that same corner stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to turn my work. You want to make sure that you are single crocheting evenly across your checkerboard, and the easiest way to do that is you did 7 rows, so you want to count down as you go with each color block. Make sure you're doing 7 single crochets. Now we just did stitches right here in this corner, so that would have been 1. So let's work a couple together. So the next one, this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I have single crocheted in all of the rows for this red block. Now these 3 single crochets over here are going to create the corner. Okay. All right, so let's go into the next color. And we're going to do 7 because that's how many rows we did on each color block. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm starting my new block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then we're back at the corner. Oops. Sometimes you have to wiggle it in. That's where you joined your colors. So it might be a little tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So go ahead and continue all the way down till you get to this corner. When you get to the corner, you're going to do 3 single crochets in each corner. Then you're going to work up this side, and when you get to this corner, 3 single crochets there. Work up this side, 3 single crochets, and then when you get all the way back around to your original, you're going to slip stitch into this first single crochet and fasten off, and then we'll add the second color for the second round of the border. So go ahead and work all the way around doing your single crochets, 3 single crochets in each corner, and I'll meet you back when we get to this joining. After you make that last single crochet, you're going to insert your hook into the first of the 3 single crochets you made in that corner stitch, and you're going to just simply slip stitch, chain 1, snip your yarn and pull it through, fasten it off, and then you're going to just weave in your tails, both your beginning one and your end one. So once you get that done, meet back up with me and we'll continue to finish our border. And your checkerboard is coming together. It looks so nice. So let's go ahead and get started with the last part of our border. We're going to come to the middle single crochet of our 3 single crochets, and we're going to join our second color. So just slip stitch that on. And chain 1. And then we're going to single crochet right in that same stitch. Again, you can work your tail in as you go, or you can weave it in at the end, whichever you prefer. So after you have single crochet in that same stitch, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to skip the next stitch and you're going to single crochet into the next one and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next single crochet and single crochet in the next, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next single crochet and single crochet in the next. All right, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next single crochet and I don't think I got them both. Nope. And single crochet in that stitch. Chain 3, 2, 3, skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next single crochet and single crochet into the next single crochet. And so this is kind of the border that you're given your checkerboard. And this will help give it some weight to continue helping it to lay flat. If you don't want such a fancy border on yours, then you can do what you did the last round, and you can put 3 single crochets into the very corner stitch and then single crochet all the way around in each single crochet. All right, so continue working that all the way around. Make sure that when you get to the corner stitch that should be a single crochet. So when you do a chain 3, if you have to skip a stitch, if it doesn't come out even for you, then just skip an extra stitch so that you are actually putting your single crochet into the corner stitch. And after you work it all the way around, do what you did on the last round, slip stitch into the first single crochet and fasten off. And then your checkerboard will be complete. All right, I'll meet back up with you when you get done. So here is my finished checkerboard. And I decided to not go with the pattern of the kind of, you know, doily looking border. I decided to frog mine back out and complete the second row of the border just like I did the first row by just the single crochets. And for me, I just like this look a whole lot better. So here is my checkerboard. All right, now let's look at making our checker pieces. And I have created a few for you to see. Let's see. So I've got some red and black ones already made up. Hopefully you can see those very well. And in the pattern, it actually made theirs after they made the checker pieces. They took small buttons and sewed small buttons on in the center. Let me see if I can get that picture and show you. I am not putting buttons on mine, but you certainly can do that if you choose. And on theirs, they actually put like little flowered buttons. But I am going to just leave mine plain. They are actually thick enough that they have weight to them and they'll be fine. So, and I mean, you can even king them and there's weight to them, you know, enough for playing the game. Of course, a solid checker and then two together to be a king. All right, so let's go ahead and make our checkers, and they're very, very simple. I am going to do this one in red. Hopefully it will show up better than the black on the black table. So the first thing you're going to do is you either need to make a slip stitch, chain 4, and then join your chain 4 together with a slip stitch to create a circle. I am going to choose to do a magic ring. So for those who are not comfortable with magic rings, then you can just do the chain 4 and join it together in a circle with a slip stitch. So with the magic ring, it's just like if you were going to do a slip knot. Wrap it around your fingers, cross over, go up underneath, grab it, and then come grab your other yarn and pull it through to secure it. If you are doing the chain 4 and creating a ring that way, then after you have joined your two ends together with a slip stitch to create your ring, you are then going to chain 3 and you are going to do 14 double crochets in that ring. If you did the magic ring like I did, once you're at this point, you're going to chain 3. Your chain 3 on both will count as your first double crochet. You will have a total of 15 double crochets when you're done. This one counts as the first one on either doing it with a chain or the magic ring. And then you're going to just do 14 double crochets in the center of that ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 'Caught a little bit there. Here we go. 6. Now I'm gonna tighten my magic ring just a little bit. 7, 8, and 9, and 10, I'm going to pull my ring shut just a little bit. And 10. 11. 12. Almost there. 13. 14. And with that chain 1, that should give us 15. So let's count and make sure. 1, that's my chain 3. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I do have all 15 double crochets. I'm going to cinch that circle shut as tight as I can get it. So my center is completely closed in. I'm going to give it one more tug without breaking my yarn. There we go. And then whether you did the magic ring or you did the chain 4 and made your circle that way, you're going to end it the same. You're going to go to the top of your chain 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. You're going to insert your hook in the top of that chain 3. And then you're just going to slip stitch in there. All right, so now chain 1. And snip your yarn, give yourself enough of a tail to weave in. Then pull that chain 1 all the way through and secure your knot down. And you want to try and get it as close to the work as possible so it doesn't change the shape of your work. Okay. All right, then weave your tails in. And once you weave your tails in, there you go. You've got your little checker piece. So you're going to make 11 more red and you're going to make 12 black. So you'll have a total of 24 pieces, 12 red checkers and 12 black checkers, or whatever 2 colors that you chose to do yours in. You could have been very creative and done other colors. You could have done the Clemson colors like the book did with the purple and the orange, or you could have done yours in red and black at the traditional colors like I did, or you could have created your own colors. So this week you're going to work on making the rest of your checkers, and then next week we're going to come back together and we're going to create a nice little bag to put our checkerboard and our checker pieces in. And just to give you a little bit of a visual. And I'm going to put them on the, well, I don't know if they'll show up. Yeah. I'm just going to put them on the opposite colors right now so you can kind of see them. They're easier to see on their actual colors. When it's in front of you. Well, I don't know. That shows up okay, I think. But anyway, so that gives you an idea of what your game is looking like. So once you get those made, give it a try. Test your game out. See who's better at checkers in your family. And next week, we'll create a carrying case to keep it all nice and tight and neat together so you don't lose any of your pieces. And have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week as we complete this project of our checkerboard game. Bye.